By watching this video, you're going to learn about the facade pattern and how you can use it in your JavaScript applications. What is the facade pattern? The facade is analogous to a facade in architecture. It's pretty on the outside and hides underlying complexity. So you can see here in this diagram, we have several sub-interfaces, and these could be classes or objects within your application, or they could be other systems altogether. And then sitting on top of this, we have a facade that is going to communicate with each subsystem. And the facade is going to have its own methods such as get and set, and it's going to combine the logic from these subsystems into the facade to make interfacing with these subsystems a lot simpler. So why would you use a facade pattern? It can mask complexity of underlying code. It can provide a single interface to a set of more complicated interfaces, and it can help make complex code more context specific. So if one developer needs to work in a single context, for example, without using the facade pattern, they might need to learn a lot about the underlying complex code, which is going to make their job more difficult. By implementing a facade, you can make their job a lot simpler. So why would you not use the facade pattern? Facades can become God objects that are too complex to use. So facades, like any piece of your code, they should be small and nimble and easy to work with. Once they get to be big God objects, you've made a mistake and it might be time to refactor. So what are some real life examples of the facade pattern? So here are some system level examples. We have the backend for frontend layer, or commonly known as the BFF layer, that is going to join multiple services together to serve a UI. And these are really common in microservice architectures, and they sit on top of the downstream services to provide an API layer for the user interface. And this means that the user interface needs a lot less code to make requests to downstream services. You might have a really complex internal API, and you need to make a more user-friendly external API to serve to external clients. And you might use a facade pattern to do this. Let's take a look at a facade pattern in JavaScript. We have these two objects here, accounts and loans department. And you can see that accounts exports two methods, get account by name and create account. And our loans department exports two methods, credit check and create loan. And you don't need to know how these two objects work internally. But our task is to build a facade that can create an account and take a loan in a single function. So I'm going to use the same iffy pattern here, which is a self-executing function that's just going to return an object. So I'm going to say const bank facade is equal to function, and then our function is going to have a method body, and then we're just going to execute that function. And inside of this function, we're just going to return an object. And this object is going to have one method, and this is create loan. And now we can put some more complicated logic inside of create loan that is going to abstract the details of account and loans department. So our create loan method needs to take a name and an amount for the loan. So first we need to check if the account exists, and on accounts we have this get account by name. So we can say let account is equal to accounts.get account by name, and we need to pass in the name. Next we can say if account, then we need to check their credit. So we can use the loan department's credit check method to do this. So if account and loans department dot credit check, and credit check is going to take a single argument of the account ID. So I can say account.account ID. And if their credit check comes back as true, then we need to throw an error. So I can say throw new error. And this means that they already have an account and their credit is not good enough to take another loan. So I can say your credit sucks. Otherwise, we can move on to creating their account and taking out the loan. We can say if not accounts is equal to accounts dot create account, and create account takes two arguments, our name and an opening balance. So I'm going to pass in name, and the opening balance is just going to be 0. And we can console.log created new account. Next, let's take out the loan. So I can say return loans department dot create loan. I'm going to pass in the account ID, and I'm going to pass in the amount. Now let's use this bank facade. So I'm going to say bank facade dot create loan. My loan is going to be under the name Tom, and I want to take a loan of 500. And I just want to console.log the result of this call. Let's run this. And you can see here that we created a new account and we took a loan with account ID of 1 for 500. Let's try to do this again, and we should see it throw an error because the account already exists under that name with a loan. And you can see here, it throws a new error telling us that our credit sucks. What happens if we create a second account to take a loan? So I'm going to say Jane. And you can see here, we now create 2 accounts and we take out 2 different loans. So that is a simple example of the facade pattern in JavaScript. If you like this video, please let me know in the comments section below what design pattern you would like to see next. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.